How easy was it to get a loan for your first credit?
It was not easy. Most people don't have credit. And when you don't have credit, it's going to affect your access to funding.
You're going to be 72 in July.
That's right.
What's the secret behind your look? Have you ever been told you look 50?
Yes, every day. I was told that at the gym last week.
How do you, your food, do you just eat anything? People go to work out and get home and eat pounded yam to sleep.
When a young goes to sleep. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, this is Celebrated Podcast. Name me Judas Ikao Shashua Dansalet Alatura. If you can't beat them, you leave them. Why you have to leave them? Because they might be doing something wrong. Not everybody that is, trying to beat you do something right, Jimmy will agree with you there. Yeah, on this podcast we have Mr. Jimmy Akibo. Is that correct? Mr. Jimmy Akibo. Mr. Jimmy, as I popularly call him, Uncle Jimmy, welcome to the show.
thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, today we're driving into the world strategy, investment, leadership, and the mindset behind building a model capital firm. My guest today, Mr. Jimmy Akibo, principal of Enser, Enser Capital LLC, a firm that has been stand firm, carving out its own lane with a focus on disciplined growth, thoughtful investment, and long-term value creation since 2021. I guess you guys started October 10, 2021. It's pretty well. Uncle Jimmy's journey is one of a vision, resilience, and international, and I accept to unspark it with all the things he want to say today. So we're trying to make Uncle Jimmy talk about his firm, capital, investment, growing your business, and his personal, a little bit of his personal life. Uncle Jimmy, welcome again to the show. It's great to have you here. Let's begin this show with this. Let's start at the beginning. Every firm has a spark, a moment where the idea begins. What inspired you to create Enser Capital LLC, and what gap did you see in the market that pushed you to take the leap?
Well, I've owned, of course, more than one business, and I've always noticed that a small business owner has a challenge getting money from the bank. So, of course, I've applied, I've gotten money from the bank, but most people have not been able to get money to either start their business or fund their business. Especially in the minority community, it's very difficult to go to the bank to get money. If you're a startup person, you walk into the bank, say, I want to start up a business. They ask you for your history. What have you done? How much money do you have with us? Well, I'm just starting out. I don't have anything. How do I start out? How do I get money from it? So I decided to form Ansa Capital to find alternative ways of getting money to small business owners. Even though my focus was a little bit at the minority one, because they always get the short end of the stick. Yeah. But it expanded to everyone, because most small businesses, we all have the same challenge. Cash flow is an issue, growth is another issue. So we wanted to make sure that we found a way to help small businesses grow and have access to capital.
When you look back at those early days, what was there a moment where you thought, okay, this is actually going to work?
Well, it's always difficult when you start a business, but it's when you get that first funding for that client. Just an aside first, what I did was, as I mentioned, alternative lending. There are alternative lending sources. So we actually contracted with many institutions, financial institutions, investors. So whenever we find a client, we want to see which of our lenders would fit that client.
Yeah.
So once you got that first funding for that person, then you're like, okay, this might work, you know. And then you begin to find out also from that end what is missing, why they're not able to get loans. And then you find a way to solve that problem too. And I'll talk about that in a little bit.
How easy was it to get a loan for your first client?
It was not easy because most people, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, most people don't have credit. And when you don't have credit, it's going to affect your access to funding. So that's the first thing you find out. You know, I didn't have problem with credit, so I could get funding myself. But you typically don't get as much as you want as a small business owner. But it was very difficult because I had to help them work with their credit to be able to get them to the point where they can get some funding.
How easy is it to get this money back?
For them to pay.
Yeah, pay back.
Well, we want to make sure that that's why credit is very important. If you're not taking care of your personal credit, your credit score, so you're telling us that you may not pay the money back. So I spend the time to educate my clients about the importance of paying back on time, because you may need more money in the future, especially if you want to grow. So if they can't pay back, they don't have a history, I don't want to work with them.
Okay. If you had to describe Ansa Capital mission in a sentence, something anyone could understand, what would it be?
Really, it will be when the bank says no, we find a yes for you.
Oh, really? That means everything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Really?
It's possible if you do certain things.
Yeah. Like credit could be number one.
It is number one. That's why, again, I think when I met you, I was letting you know the presentation I gave that when you look at a challenge, you keep going at it. I read many years ago, somebody says, never give up, just keep going. Then somebody else said, well, if you're in a room and the wall is made of concrete, you can hit your head as much as you want. That wall is not moving. You have to look for a window to get out. So when you keep seeing the challenges, people getting denied, applications being declined, you have to look for what the challenge is. And the challenge has always been credit, which I hope we'll be able to cover today. Because without credit, you really don't live here. You know. So once I found that angle, I decided to create a separate company that would address that so we can help get the loans easier.
Let's talk about strategy. Every investment firm has its own lens, its own philosophy. What kind of investment philosophy guides Ansa Capital decision?
It would almost sound like a broken record that my goal is, and the goal of Ansa Marketing is to get a yes. Because the small business that runs this country, they employ the most. If the refrigerator or the cooler breaks down, the restaurant, they can't bring money in. They can't pay people. Something happens, the holiday happens, something happens during because you have to pay employees. So our goal is always to find yes. And that's the philosophy. That's the philosophy. When we're talking to investors or we're talking to lenders, like, I think I know this guy. I have a good feel for him. What other things do you need? So we're that bridge between that lender and that small business owner that most of the time doesn't know what to do. You know, they're very good at what they do, but they're not good at their finances. They're not good at growing their business. They don't know what to do to get capital, to fund their business, grow their business. So that's
we're going to take a short break. So when we return, we're still going to talking with Uncle Jimmy. Welcome back to the show. Now, Uncle Jimmy, a lot of firms talked about value creation, but it means different things to different people. What does value creation mean to you personally?
Well, value is what drives me. Anything that I do, I have to look at, is there value in it? Not for me. Is there value for my client? So the value that I look for, I always look at the end point for that client, which is, what are you wanting to accomplish? Am I going to help them accomplish that goal? So the biggest thing for us is, the key operating word for me is help. Am I able to help that person? Am I doing my best to be able to help them? And at the end of the day, that's the value that we create for that customer. Did we get them a yes? Now they may look for 100,000. I got them 50. Will that 50 help them? Is 50 better than 100? Can you do something? Sometimes it's not the money they're looking for. It's not the whole money, but it's just a line of credit that they can have access to be able to do and to be able to accomplish the goal that they set out for. So value is very important. And we wanted a company that provides value for people based on trust. And that's what our clients know.
What's your interest rate?
What's my word? I'm sorry?
Interest rate?
Oh, it fluctuates. It depends. Again, it goes back again to what is your history, how long have you been in business, what is your credit score. All of those things contribute to it. So you can't tell somebody it's going to be 6%.
Okay, so you don't have a fixed interest.
No, you don't have a fixed interest. And we don't compete with the banks. I tell my clients, if your bank can give you 3%, you've got a history there, go to your bank.
Yeah.
When they tell you no, then you come to me. We'll find a way. Yes.
In a world where information moves faster than ever, how do you evaluate opportunities without getting lost in the noise?
I think it gets to a point where you just see there's so much information out there now. Everybody's an expert. And then you have to ask yourself, who should I really listen to? So it's starting to boil down to, who do you know? Because when you read everything, this one says go this direction, this one says go this direction. So I provide that angle for people to vet that information. If the information is valuable, I'll tell them, you go ahead and go that way. But when you're dealing with a human being, and that human being knows what he's talking about, it is better than AI. I'll put it that way.
It's better than AI.
It is better than, I'm not AI, I'm a living person. But I can create a clone of myself for you to listen to, but I'm real.
Yeah. You're operating in a space that changes constantly. What trend in private investment or capital management are you paying a closer attention to right now?
Well, what is exciting about what I do, I hate to call it, it's exciting in one angle, but it's also concerning, is that every day you are seeing the opportunity for capital, access to capital shrink. I'll give you an example. The SBA just announced recently that immigrants can no longer have access to SBA loans. SBA has been funding small businesses for years. And the irony of it all is that legal immigrants are a good chunk of the people who create opportunities in
When
this
you say
country.
legal immigrant? Okay, legal immigrant.
Legal immigrants. So now the SBA loans is only for citizens. So if you're not an American citizen, you can't get SBA loan. So that creates
What is SBA?
Small Business Administration.
Oh, okay.
So the Small Business Administration is always rated when the bank also says no. Small Business Administration has helped set up, train, and help small businesses grow their business, set up and grow their businesses. And they align with banks to be able to get that loan. So they act almost like a guarantor to the banks. So when that is now being removed, so that creates more opportunities for people that used to go there to say, hey, where do I go? And that's where I come in.
Okay. Are there any misconceptions about capital firm or private investment that you wish more people understand?
There's just so many things that are out there. We're talking about information, true, not true. I don't want to say lies, but some of them are border on that edge. But the key is, and I'm going to go back to it, and the other thing that I hear most people do, oh, don't worry about credit. You can still get things. You can still get a loan. You can still get this. No, you can't. We're doing things legally. So that's where, again, the foundation is very important. I was with my banker last week, and one of the big banks here, and he just keeps talking about how many people coming through the door don't have the qualifications to get a loan, and they need that loan. So it starts from the basis. Are we teaching our children? Are we learning about credit? Credit is as important as your driver's license. I mean, you can have a PhD in finance and have 300 credit score and walk into the bank, they won't give you a loan. But you can have $700-800 credit, and you walk into the bank, you can get a good sized loan, or at least I can help you get financing. So the core of the whole existence in this country, as far as I know, is your credit.
Looking ahead, how do you see technology reshaping the investment landscape over the next decade? We're talking about AI, right?
Yeah.
So,
And anytime you pull up AI now, you begin to see they're now putting little things on the bottom saying, hey, check your facts, this may not be accurate. Technology helps you access information, but you still have to process it. AI was created by human beings. It doesn't have emotions, it's going to create facts to you. Facts based on the information fed into it. So while I like the fact that people have access to information, you still need, in this arena, to talk to someone. You can say, how do I apply for a loan? They will tell you.
So technology is not going to take you guys technically out of the business, or you're not going to switch to technology? Is that what you're saying?
No,
when we say technology, we say AI.
Yeah.
Now we're focusing on AI.
Yeah, I use technology. They will say, okay, I'll go apply for the loan. You can apply this. You must have this credit score. So how do you have that credit score?
So that's why they come back to you.
They're going to come back
to know how to have that credit score.
Help you get. But technology may tell you how to get it, but there's certain things that I can do that technology wouldn't do. It's not going to make a call on your behalf.
Yeah. Leadership is a huge part. Leadership is a huge part of your role. What's the hardest decision you've ever taken as a principal officer of Ansa Capital?
Well, my idea of leadership, when you're a successful leader, it means you're creating leaders.
When you're a successful leader, it means you're creating leaders.
If you're not building your people to be leaders, then you're not a leader. So that has always been my goal, enabling people, helping them, giving them information to be better. Because if I'm not here tomorrow, somebody has to continue to do their job.
Like people say, if your business can't run on your behalf, you don't have a business.
You don't have a business.
Yeah.
So it's very tough, especially when we talk about credit, which I hope we'll go into some detail on, and you hear me harping about that a lot, is that I want people to know when I help them accomplish that goal, you get that higher credit score. Then I want you to learn how to maintain it. I want to help you rebuild. I don't just want to help you fix. Repair
rebuild it and maintain it.
Rebuild it and maintain it.
Okay, in 30 seconds to 1 minute, how can you build a bad credit to a good credit?
Well, you give me 30 seconds. It's a long journey.
No, it's just like, okay,
do
this. Make your credit card okay.
Yeah.
Don't hold, just like,
I would say don't.
First thing.
There's certain things you can do yourself, but get a professional to help you. And find out how is that professional doing. I mean, I have an 840, 850 credit score because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So when you come to me, we help you work on your credit. It's not going to happen overnight. Sometimes it will take 6 months. But if you don't spend that 6 months to fix that credit, you could be paying extra $200, $300 a month, like mortgage, for 30 years. Would you rather spend 6 months to make sure that you are paying what other people pay?
Yeah.
Because you could live in the same house as your neighbor and you're paying $300, $400 more.
So that also means if you have a bad credit right now, see Uncle Jimmy.
Yes.
When you are evaluating risk versus opportunity, what's your internal process like? Hmm. When you are evaluating risk versus opportunity, what's your internal process like? There's a risk in what you do.
Everything you do is a risk. But I always look at the end point. And I've noticed that if your goal is to help people and you really mean that, success follows. I've read all kinds of books. If you enjoy what you're doing, if you love what you're doing, the money will come. I've read all kinds of books, which is true. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you may make some money, but it doesn't last.
Yeah.
So my goal is, I look at all the risks, but I look at the benefits to the customer. Word of mouth is great. If you're able to help that person, it lowers the risk. But I don't just go into something without looking at what are the risks. And I look long term. The risk becomes higher when you're a short term investor.
Yeah.
And then when you have a short term outlook on business and on life. So I do measure risk, but I measure it against my ability to be able to help that customer or help that client. And when I do that, then I'm at peace with myself. Of course, I'm not going to invest in something stupid because I see value in it. But if I see that that person is helped, I can sleep well at night.
When are you considering founders or partners? What quality matters most to you before you commit?
That's a very good question, actually, because I have some people that I work with. What is important first is trust. Because if you have somebody who's thinking short term and you think long term, it's not going to work. And I want to know if they have the same value system. Do they really want to help you? I mean, this is not, when I use the word help, it's not just being altruistic, trying to say, no, it's about, do you sleep well at night? Are you happy when that person says that something? Because when you're happy, guess what? They tell somebody else. A lot of my clients come from word of mouth. If I help somebody go from 400 credit to 700, and they've tried to do it themselves, they couldn't do it, they're going to tell somebody else. When I walk into a place, that's the guy that helped. Last year,
you also do bad.
You're going to hear that too. So your goal is to have 90-10, or 98 too. So I'm very careful who I align with. I mean, I've been, as you've said from me, I've been around it for a long time. And the only thing you have is your name, and not many people have the same last name that I have. So as we build our business and our community, our name is not James. So very easy to say, do you know no side, junior keyboard here, there's only one. So you have to protect, culturally, you have to protect your family.
Yeah. Every business has its challenges. What has been the biggest challenges in building Ansa Capital, and how did you overcome it?
Great question. It's going to sound like a broken record. Biggest, you get excited about getting your business started. But then you're so excited, people tell you their story, and you say, this is a good client. Go back to the same thing I've been saying all through. Credit score. So that has been the biggest challenge. That's why I'm announcing it here today. So I decided to create Ansa Credit Advocates, LLC. That should be starting operation here in the next 2 weeks. Because when you're fighting for credit, it's an advocacy.
Come again. I want to repeat that, please. Tell us when is it starting. That's a new one.
Yes, it's a new business.
Let my audience hear that again.
It is Ansa Credit Advocates, LLC. And the key word there is advocates.
Yeah.
Is we go out and help you repair that credit. But we also teach you how to maintain it, increase your score, know what to do. For example, I know what to do to my credit score at any moment. I know what is happening with my credit. I monitor it. Same way I monitor health, I monitor my credit. So, I kept running into I get excited, go to my lenders, they're excited, and then it's like the credit score is 650 or 600 or 450. Well, the loan requires 700. No go. So you keep getting to that stumbling block, and you know what to do, so you make it a major part of what you do.
Sounds good. Can you share a moment where a setback taught you something essential about leadership and business?
I tell you, bankruptcy.
You had a bankruptcy?
Yeah. Went through personal divorce and things. Bankruptcy step. First of all, you feel so bad because you're always paying.
Yeah.
But then you read, you find out that a lot of the successful people have filed bankruptcy. It's a tool. It is not an escape, it's a tool for you to rebuild yourself when you've tried your best. So that's how you learn resilience, you learn to rebuild. Because at that point you lose everything. Completely lost everything. And then it's like, okay, what am I going to do? And then you have a family, you have children. So you have to have a way to build. And so I became an insurance agent. So I'm an insurance agent. So I've got a vast experience in the financial sector.
So you were part of those people canvassing people for health insurance?
Not really.
Where some of them don't even have health insurance.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, that's again where truth comes in. Because when you are an agent, so as I talk to a lot of my clients, I bring all these experiences to the table. Health insurance, life insurance, credit, financing. So those knowledge help me communicate with that client. And that's who you want to talk to. I'm multidimensional. I've had that experiences. Some people are struggling today. They should file bankruptcy, but they're struggling. An attorney told me, when I was getting close to bankruptcy, he said, and I learned that many years ago, he said, I see that you are headed towards an opportunity where you may be making a lot more money. Let me tell you this. Don't use the new money to pay old debt.
Don't use new
money
to
to
pay
old debt. Now, not just old debt, but towards
But
bankruptcy.
how are you going to have old money to pay old debt?
No, no. Well, that's why you're filing bankruptcy.
Okay, so they're going to take charge of the debt.
Yeah, they're going to take, when you file bankruptcy, depending on what type of bankruptcy you file, it can wipe off your debt. But then the challenge is you don't have credit. So how do you rebuild? You have to start all over. So now, let's say you have an opportunity to start all over, and you're in the middle of bankruptcy, you owe $50,000, you owe $100,000, $200,000, and you have something that's going to give you $50,000. You're still going to be in a deep hole. So you file bankruptcy to give you a new start, and then you start building your credit. You know, but not everybody should file bankruptcy. There's some people that just keep filing, but at some point, you don't. That when you keep doing that, it means you don't have credit. So
You're never going to have credit.
You're never going to have credit.
Yeah.
You can't get anything.
Yeah, so let's go to the next question, Uncle Jimmy. Let's now talk about impact. How does Ansa Capital think about community impact and economical development? When I say community impact, I'm not talking about the African community in particular, Indianapolis, Carmel, outside, Noblesville, Fishers. The others are communities. How do you guys, impact those communities?
Well, I'll give you an example. There was a program last year where the government during the COVID helped companies with some money to be able to rebuild, to grow. So as a community, in a small way, we got probably close to $500,000 for businesses in our community. So again, small businesses employ the most people. And the key is, if you can help them, they employ people in your community, their business is surviving, they know who to come back to. You feel good about what you're contributing.
So apart from the business helping in COVID, how are you guys impacting the community? Now, let me level it down a little bit to the African community, which most of the patrons come from, if I'm not mistaken.
I say half and half.
Okay, so now how most of my viewers are Africans, Nigerians, could be, like I'm just trying to level it to
Right.
so how have you guys impacted Nigerians in India?
Well,
Africans.
Africans. Well, I go back to how did we meet? We met on an event where people were talking about business. How can we work together? How can we help one another? So what I've done is the biggest thing with our community is education. Meaning you've come from a different culture to this culture. The tendency is for you to listen to somebody who was there before you. But before you listen to them, ask about their experience. If they have bad credit, they're going to teach you how to have bad credit. Or if they don't know about credit, you're not going to know about credit. So I've encouraged people via education to veer outside their circle a little bit and ask for who knows what they want to do.
How many seminars have you had?
Oh my goodness. For the many years I've been here, I've been to several churches. So that's how we met.
Yeah.
I've been invited to speak to groups, which I still do. And I partner with people who have access to groups and they pass that information along. So that's how we've been able to help people.
What role do you believe capital firm should play in supporting minority-owned or emerging businesses?
I think the biggest thing is education.
Information.
Information. If you don't have access to information, you're just going out there blind. Like you may have interest in doing something. I'll give you a very quick example. You want to do something. You want to start a business. You want to earn $2 million. Find out if somebody else has earned $2 million in their business. So we are so excited about getting started. And what you end up doing is buying a job for yourself instead of a business. So information is so critical. So my biggest benefit to my clients is information. Can we do this today? No. I said, if you don't understand the basics of this, there's no point going ahead because you're going to come back to where we started from. Insurance is one. I had people call me. They just bought this brand new car. They called me then from the dealership. I need insurance. Okay. This is how much it's going to be. Well, they don't realize that their credit impacts their insurance too. Some people were quoted, had insurance premiums almost as high as the car payment. So at that point, when you learn what to do to help mitigate those situations. Information is so critical, especially for our community, for the minority community. Letting people know that's not the right thing to do. This is what you've been told by 5 people. But is there insurance? Are they insurance agents? Are they licensed insurance? Do they know what they're talking about? You need to, division of labor is important. For example, this is your business. I don't know anything about this business, so if I want to learn about this business, I have to ask you. But sometimes people just will read about something or depend on somebody who has failed in an area.
Or see people doing it and want to do it.
Yeah, they just want to say, oh yeah, that guy is, and they think that guy is making money. They don't know what turbulence is gone through to be successful today. So I tell people, don't just follow, find what is dear to you to do. He's doing what is dear to him. You have celebrity mobile bar. There's something about it that appeals to you. You have this location here, which is very impressive. I can see it in your face that you're happy doing what you're doing. But if you're not happy with that and you just want to jump in because Ansa is doing it, the chances of you failing is very high.
Beyond financial returns, what does success look like for you?
Many years ago, I started seeing success for me in other people's successes. If I have the whole combination of starting with your family, my son is a top insurance personnel, lives in Chicago, does very well. My daughter is a professor at Yale. I look at those things and I look
So
at,
she's a professor?
yes, a professor at Yale. Then I look at people around me and am I able to help them? Have I been able to share the information that I have, or am I hoarding it and taking it to my head? So my success is based on how many people I see successful. And I get a lot of people. I had a gentleman that visited me yesterday. He's from Burundi. I invited him into a legal plan that I was part of, and now is a regional vice president in Indiana, Canada. He was in my place yesterday. Right before then, there was a call from young people that grew up in my community in Nigeria that were following me. I didn't know. And they were following me. They said they liked the way I carried myself and all of that before I even came here. They have a group and they gather themselves and they'll give me a call and tell me the impact I had on their lives. So you never know how you're
That's
impacting. It's huge. And I get those calls on a regular basis. My wife sometimes thinks, but what the hell did I marry? But that's who I am. And then to the point where it says, I think we're going to have a party in Dallas. We're going to invite ourselves to come. I don't remember them because they were much younger. They were like 10, 15, 12. So that to me is what makes me happy. It's not how much money you make,
Yeah.
but the impact you have in your community and people that you meet.
What type of opportunities or industries are you most excited about exploring next?
It's still the capital market, capital and access to it, because access is what makes the difference.
And the help for sustainability.
Yes, if you don't have access to capital, if you want to start a small business, if you don't have access, then you can't grow. A lot of small businesses have closed because, growth. They've grown very quickly. They don't know what to do. They can't manage that growth. So when that client comes and I help them get that initial funding, they want to expand. They want to open a new branch. I want to help them. I want to make sure that I'm there. That's the excitement about this opportunity. I'm there for them as they grow, as they expand. And that is what makes this angle very, very fun for me. Every client is a challenge. I love that challenge, be it on the credit side or be it on the capital side. If I can help you get good credit, help you get financing, show you how to insure your company, it's that kind of a circle.
Okay, rounding this up before we go to something that is very interesting to me, something Uncle Jimmy knows I'm going to talk about.
I think I have
Yeah,
a case.
yeah. So what are you going to say rounding up, in all of this?
You just don't know how impressed I am sitting. Sometimes I wonder what I haven't done. By the way, I used to be a TV producer too. Okay. So just seeing what you've accomplished yourself with what you're doing and the growth that I'm seeing among you young, because when we came here, my time it was all about education and go home. When things didn't work out, we found ourselves back here. It was very disappointing, but again, we had to step back up to do stuff. So I'm just so impressed. I just never knew how big the Nigerian community is in Indianapolis. When I got here, I don't think there were 20. So to see, as I drive past, see the businesses, the churches, the growth, what you're doing, this is your party place. You have other businesses, you're always growing. That I'm happy beyond you can imagine. that's why I'm happy to be here today.
Okay, Uncle Jimmy, like you guys don't know, before I go back to that again, one time Uncle Jimmy was talking and he said he was part of Tony's classmate. That means you guys are good friends.
Very good.
Are you guys still in touch?
Oh, yes.
You guys still talk here today, even
Yes.
with his busy schedule with politics?
Oh, yes.
Did you support him the last time?
Oh, yes. We had events all over the U.S. We had big events here. One of my good friends, Andrea Mache, was one of the successful Nigerians here, hosted it. University was very supportive. IU, which is where we went to school in Wilmington. President sent a message. We had leaders here within Minneapolis. We had events in Atlanta, New York, Florida, everywhere.
Do you think part of Tommy would have been a better president?
I tell you one thing, I'm not good at.
You were just supporting him because he was a friend.
He's a friend that I know. He's got the idea. He's got the mind. He's started successful businesses which I've been part of. So if you need somebody that's a policy wonk, he's very good with policy.
Okay.
He's very good with businesses. He started banks, co-started Lagos Business School, the best business school in Africa, Platinum Bank.
I registered in that school, but I never finished.
There you go. So,
sorry, man.
So
The fee was killing.
Yeah, but that wasn't your calling.
Right?
Yeah, that was your calling. So, very, very sharp guy. He was here in May. We had an event, book signing event. He stayed with me. It's a very, very good friend of mine.
When he come again, we'd like to have him.
Oh, I would love to. He would have. We had one of the guys here interviewed him. He is as good a friend as you can find. His mother is a brother to me. So, and when you know people like that, and he's very humble.
Yeah.
Very successful and very humble.
Yeah.
He has helped so many people. So that's again the operative word about Babatoni. And he has worked with Nigeria. He has worked with all the governments. I don't care.
Yeah.
He has worked with all of them. And they're all his friends.
Yeah.
And a lot of the key leaders now are his colleagues. So I always wish him good luck.
Okay, Uncle Jimmy, as we always call you, let's talk about something personal. You're going to be 72 in July.
That's right.
What's the secret behind your look?
Well, I work out every day.
Have you ever been told you look 50?
Yes, I was told that at the gym last week.
But we see people who work out every day, but they still look old.
Well,
how do you, your food, do you just eat anything? People go to work out and get home and eat pando yam to sleep.
when a yam goes to sleep. Yeah. Well, consistency is something. I started this 1992. I've not missed a single day of work.
Really?
Not one day. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, raining, snowing, it doesn't matter. There's always something to do. It helps you mentally. Everything starts from here. And, I made that decision. It started from me thinking I was having a heart attack, which wasn't a heart attack. It ended up being reflux, heartburn. I just thought, your mind goes, you get panic attacks, like, oh my God, I'm going to die. That's because I wasn't working out. I was traveling a lot. I was a speaker. Then I was across the country talking about legal, insurance, all over the country. So I always went to this event. There's always banquets. And by the time I looked in the picture, I looked like a pocket. And then all of a sudden there's reflux. I thought I was going to die. And I started doing all kinds of things so it didn't happen. I remember staying up late one night. I watched one infomercial, and then was listening to the person that talked about, everything is based on guilt. I should do this. I should do that. I should be a millionaire. I should pay this, especially when you're not from here. Yeah. We have that extra responsibility of taking care of family at home. So you're always working hard. And he says one thing that takes care of anxiety. You get on that treadmill. If you set it at 10, 5, it doesn't care if you're depressed or anxious, it's going to run at 5. So you have to go. And it says exercise helps you. It says, dolphins and things, whatever they call them. I just decided to start. Of course, the first one was funny because I thought I was just going to go run from 960 to 5 miles. I just took up running fast. That was the runner. Few feet. That's all. But I started gradually, and the key is consistency. Even if you eat your fufu now, you eat your fufu, you go to sleep. You're not doing anything to counter it. Counter it. Cut down the size of the fufu, on the amount of rice you eat. So put in a little plate, but that consistency of knowing. And you don't have to go to the gym. There are things you can do at home. You can push-ups. You can get the little thing. I have a treadmill at home, so when it gets cold outside, have a portable treadmill, foldable. You can run on your treadmill or walk on it. Start walking. Some people, the reason they don't stay on it is they see that, okay, I go run 5 miles. But I've been doing it for a long time. So what you need to do, just start off, say, okay, let me walk to the end of the block. Just walk to the end of the block. You'll find out that when you get to the end of the block, you're like, wow, maybe I add one extra block. And then that's how you start. And wherever I'm at the airport, the flight is 5 a.m. in the morning. It's not enough time to, sometimes I'll get up at 2, so I can walk out before I go. If I can't, while I'm waiting for the flight to take off, I'm running, walking around the airport, doing push-ups. But I make sure I do that 30 minutes minimum. And then you begin to expand. You go to the gym, you watch other people, And it got to the point where some friends of mine, one guy just walked into the gym. He was looking very confused. And I was walking, I think I was doing some ab exercises. And I looked up, I saw him, and he looked up and saw me. I was like, oh my God. He just ran out and he said, this is where you come here? I said, oh, you're part of this gym too? And he said, no, I just signed up yesterday. I've never been in a gym. They told me what to do, but I don't know what to do. I'm so glad you're here. He says, okay, when you leave your home, I told him, 10 a.m. in the morning. The next morning, he was at my home. He picks me up every day to go to the gym. So he drives past his gym to come get me so I can be there with him. Training. Now he brings another friend with him. So we've got these old people now. We've got a team. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Have you ever been on any medication for a long time?
Nope.
That's good, man.
It's I tell people, I said, God does his part. We have to help him too. Yeah. Because there are people out here who are really sick. Yeah. That need his help. While you can do something, you can walk now. Please go ahead and walk. Do something.
Funny enough, I'll tell you something. Every time I go for my physical, the only thing they prescribe for me is gym.
Yep.
But Uncle Jimmy, you won't believe. I don't go to gym. I just registered on Friday.
But you're young. So if you want to take advantage,
Uncle Jimmy, you know, just guess my age.
You gotta be in your 30s.
No, Uncle Jimmy. I'll be 50.
No, you're not.
So God will make me, man. I got my idea.
When?
I'll be 50 next week. I'm 49 July.
Oh, you're 49.
Yeah, so
you'll be actors when you're 30s.
No.
So now the secret now is, if we are mistaking you for 30s and you're 50, you're going to be 50 next year, you want to maintain that gap. Because what happens is, we were all, before I got big, I was like you, I was slim, I never took anything. Then all of a sudden,
I've never passed this stage.
Yeah, I didn't pass it at all. I was skinny like anything.
I think I came to America bigger.
You see, that's what happened to me too.
A little bit.
So you want to maintain that, and then you're going to get to a point where your body says, hey, we're now 50. So once you start now, you just maintain it to your 70s, your 80s, and
Yeah, Uncle Jimmy, this has been a fantastic conversation.
Thank you.
Your perspective on leadership, investment, and long-term value is refreshing, and I know listeners will learn a lot from what we just had today. Thank you for joining us. If my listeners want to meet Uncle Jimmy, what's your contact and what's your social media handle?
Well, Jimmy and Keyboard. You can go to Jimmy and Keyboard, Facebook, JIMI which is short for Olujimi. And the last name is AKIB as in boy OH. Phone number 855 400 7808. 855 400 7808. And then go to ansacapital.com.
Go build your credit.
Yeah, Ansa is ANSA. That's, by the way, my mom's middle name.
Oh,
My
okay.
mom's maiden name. So it's ANSAcapital.com. Now in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you'll be able to access Ansa, the same ANSA Credit Advocates.com.
If you have any credit issue, you need a small loan for your business, don't go anywhere. Go to Ansa Capital. Uncle Jimmy, thanks
Right.
for coming.
Thank you so very much, young
Wonderful.
man. So I can say that now. Somebody coming behind me will say the same thing.